Hello, my name is Pete Bahil and I'm here to introduce to you the ACCRASPEED Sports Trainer. This amazing patented single product, ACCRASPEED Sports Trainer, may be used by every sports member of the family to develop and improve performance in tennis, baseball, golf, or any other sport that involves outward centrifugal force. Despite its precision sleek appearance, the ACCRASPEED Sports Trainer is simple to use. Made of impact aluminum, it's lightweight and fits easily into a shirt pocket or a pants pocket when it's not in use. Now, to get started, let me introduce to you first how the ACCRASPEED is installed on your wrist or in your hand. What you do is you simply open the Velcro strap, slide it through the buckle once you place it on your wrist. So you just make sure that the word hand points towards your fingers. The adjustment knob on the base of the unit is pointed towards your fingers, as I have this one on here. And you get the ACCRASPEED on, and then you can adjust the ACCRASPEED using the quick number reference on the face of the casing. So it's numbered from 1 to 7, and these numbers represent the setting required through energy and force velocity that you would introduce to offset the centrifugal force produced from that sport activity. As an example, if I set this to 1, and let's say that the numbers are also complemented by a fine letter adjustment that would give you an adjustment between each number. So as an example, between 1 and 2, if I desired a finer adjustment, I could use the letter scale and set the unit from 1C or 1D or whatever letter I desire between the number 1 and 2. So that allows for a fine adjustment. This allows for a quick reference adjustment. So as I say, as an example, now I wanted to warm up, and my chosen sport happened to be baseball. So I would take baseball and warm up my shoulder, and this is great for little leaguers, little kids, adults, anyone that wants to warm up their shoulder before they start normal play to offset or curb injuries. So let's say that I set the ACCRASPEED Sports Trainer at a low number, and now I'm just warming up my shoulder. I'm just getting warmed up. Now as I warm up, I want to increase my velocity, and I can go into technique training because the product offers different levels, and they can be broken down to low numbers would be used for warm up or fine movement type activities, say putting, or say backstrokes on golf. But suppose I set it at a low number for warm up, and as I get warmed up, I'm feeling pretty good, I can go to a higher number. Now I want to develop into technique training, and that's the second segment of the product because it has warm up, technique, and strength and endurance. So we're into the technique training now, and you'll notice that the chirp's a little bit different. It's a little bit shorter, and it's not as audible. So I need to keep that chirp consistent throughout my whole training and warm-up regimen. Whether it's warm-up, whether it's technique, whether it's strength training and endurance, I want to make sure that chirping regimen stays constant and consistent so I can adjust this to meet that same demand. Okay? Now what's great is if I was to be a newcomer to baseball, which most people try to do, they overthrow. So therefore, they're out of control into the strike zone. The ACCRASPEED Sports Trainer helps pitchers get their capability fine-tuned so they know they're not going to overthrow the ball. Okay, so that's with baseball. Now suppose the sport of choice was tennis. Again, go back down to a low number. I can go into my warm-up segment and get that same constant, consistent chirp going. You notice how long it is. So if I go up a little bit higher, I need a little more energy to produce that same sound that I did when it was in warm-up stage. Now I'm in technique training to do my backhand, to do my serve, whichever it is. Now in the event that I don't hear that chirp, then I'm not working hard enough. Or I don't hear that chirp in that same consistent length and sound that I did earlier, I'm not working hard enough. As an example, I'll set it up higher. Maybe we'll go to a 4. And you'll notice that it's really short. I've got to really work at what I'm doing to get that same audible sound as I did when it was lower, at say a 2. You'll notice it's a little bit different. a little bit louder, and if I go even lower to my own capability, you'll notice that it's back in order now. I'm back in control. Okay, so that's tennis. Baseball bat, same scenario. I can practice my batting. I can get a nice sound going. This will let me know where my hands are. I won't be behind the ball, in front of the ball. I can work on my contact to the ball. And once I get my technique training going, I can then work on my bat speed by increasing the number to a higher number, which requires more velocity, more energy on my end to get me where I need to be to get that same bat position, that same bat speed, and hold that sound consistent in my bat practice. Now, softball, let's set it back down to warm up, and you'll notice that it gives a nice long chirp in my softball warm up. See that nice long looping sound? And now if I set it up higher, I need to get into technique training now. I'll set it up to say a 2F. I need that same sound, but you notice I'm working a little bit faster and I'm producing that same sound. That's where I want. I want to be consistent. And again, if I don't hear the sound, then I'm not doing enough velocity or energy to produce that sound. I need to have that same consistent. And then to get into strength and endurance, I'll turn it up to a higher level number. And now I've really got to work at it to get that sound going. So that's softball. Now, going the other direction, I can go into a golf swing, and if I set this down to the warm-up stage as an example, where it's nice and low, I don't need a lot of movement because I'm going to work on my backswing now. And I want a nice, slow, smooth backswing for my rhythm and tempo. So once I get that adjustment where I want it, if I move too fast backwards in my backswing, instantly I know my rhythm and tempo are too fast for my backswing. I can also use the ACCRASPEED Sports Trainer to practice on my forward swing. So I can work on an iron to get my yardage right, because I know that once I set this to my own capabilities, my velocity of my arm, the energy in my stroke will tell me that I'm in consistent distance with each iron that I use. So that works with my irons. The same is true with the driver. I can work on the same stroke type pattern, just different club, all the way down to the putter. If I set it down to a low number, as if I did for warm-up, again, I can work on my putting stroke, a nice smooth stroke that lets me get my putting stroke right in order, compared to if I'm too fast or too jerky. Now you'll notice that with the ACCRASPEED Sports Trainer, we don't need to reset it with each movement. We don't have to monitor it as you do with some other devices where you have to keep an eye on the data that it produces. This product will automatically introduce to you by an audible chirp at what setting you have for the activity that you're involved in. So it works again with outward centrifugal force. Now, we do have some other videos on the YouTube line, so if you want to go to YouTube and type in ACCRASPEED Sports Trainer, you can see all of the other videos that we have to offer. We can also be reached at ACCRASPEED@AOL.com. Thank you.